on nature and her majestic beauty. Oh, hey everyone. Today on the show, I thought maybe I would talk to you a little bit of a lot about a camera that I'm quite fond of called the Diana F Plus. Yeah, so, intro. So, hi, it's me, your old pal, the iconoclast, the unconventional eccentric, who marches to a different drummer. And on today's episode, I wanted to tell you about a camera. A very specific camera. The Diana F Plus. This is a camera that I've actually been wanting to do an episode about for a while, because I did an episode on the Holga, which is also a plastic 120 format toy camera that gives you some interesting effects. But the Diana is a whole other story. It's a whole other can of worms. It's a whole other ball of yarn. It's just a whole other thing. It's very similar to the Holga in a lot of ways, except the images you'll get out of it are pretty different. It's based on a camera called the Diana, which was manufactured very cheaply in China in the 60s, I believe. There was very little quality control in the manufacturing of the original Dianas, so as a result, the lenses tend to be very odd and imperfect, to say the least. So the idea that I had for my first real experiment with the Diana F Plus was to sort of duplicate an experiment that I had done with my Holga. If you remember from the Holga episode, one of the photos that I had taken was of a cross street that I used to live on, that had space names, the names of like planets and stuff. And because I used super expired old film, it made it actually look like the picture was taken in space. It added like strange little white spots that looked like stars. They weren't there when I took the picture. And light leaks that kind of look like a supernova or something. So I kind of wanted to try to sort of duplicate that to a certain extent, because that neighborhood actually had, all of the streets had space names. So I figured, I'm just going to go back to that old neighborhood, I still live close by, and take pictures of those street signs with super duper expired film and try to see if I can kind of duplicate the results from the Holga. And most of the images turned out pretty good. There's a couple that didn't turn out that great, but it was an experiment. It was a test. It was the first time I've ever gotten some results by accident and then tried to sort of duplicate them on purpose. So it worked out pretty good. So let me actually show you the images now that I got in my old neighborhood with the Diana F Plus. Take a look. So I thought I would show you guys a little bit closer my own personal Diana. This is the Diana F Plus, which basically just means that, as far as the F is concerned, that it has these attachments here for a flash, and that it actually came with a flash unit. Now the flash unit, it takes one AA battery, and it's designed to look exactly like the old school flash units on the original Dianas, although obviously it's different, because the originals, there was like a bulb in here that would pop out. I think you'd actually push this and the bulb would actually shoot out when you were done, and you'd just replace it. But yeah. It also has a special little thing in here where you can slide in different colored gels, which is pretty fun. The people at Lomography apparently spent millions and millions of dollars in research just so that they could get this to click correctly, so that it sounded exactly like the original Diana cameras. On the back here, you can, if you have the arrow pointing to 12, that means that you'll get 12 exposures on your 120 film, and you'll read the numbers through this little red window. And if you have it pointing to, if you have it pointing to 16, that means you'll have 16 exposures, and you'll read the numbers down here. Sometimes I get a little bit confused when I haven't shot with it for a while, and I can't remember if when it's pointing to 12, that means that I'm getting 16, but the arrow here is supposed to indicate it's pointing to 12, therefore
12 exposures. It's just throws me off that the number is right next to the window, whatever. In order to open up the camera, you just boop, and then slide it like that. And what you do is you take this, move it over here. It's your take-up spool. You put the fresh roll of 120 film over here. I don't have a roll to show you, but basically you put the fresh roll over here, and then you'll wind it on to this empty roll as you shoot. And you'll read the backing paper to know how many exposures you've shot already, etc., etc. I think the camera actually comes with some masks that you can put in here, but I never use the masks because I like to get the maximum image size that I can, so I don't even put the masks in here. It also has aperture adjustments down here. It has cloudy, somewhat cloudy, sunny, and the P is actually for pinhole. Normal shutter, but then put it like that, and now you're on bulb mode, and then you can hold it open as long as you want. I'd like to show you now what I think is the coolest thing about the Lomography Diana F+, and that is you can actually change the lenses. This one is my favorite because it is the fisheye, and I really love fisheye images, and yeah. This is the 38mm super wide, which is, well, 38mm and, you know, super wide. So that's fun. This one is the 55mm wide angle. And I think this is the one that actually comes with an additional macro lens that you can use with it, if I'm not mistaken. But I never use the macro lens because I feel like there's no real good way to actually see if things are in focus. And this is the 110mm telephoto. I also don't use this one super often because it's telephoto, I don't really know the best way to determine whether or not anything is actually going to be in the shot and not in the shot. But it's still cool. It's still fun. It's still neat to have. It's still, you know, it's good. It's cool.
So, anyway, that's the Diana F Plus, made by Lomography. Find me on the internets. I am all over the damn internets. I'm on the Facebook, I'm on the Instagram, I'm on the Twitter, I'm on the Lomography.com, I'm on the DeviantArt, and I have a Redbubble and a Teespring store if you're interested in purchasing one of these lovely baby food masks or any of my other photographic images printed on pretty much anything. Yeah. So have a fantastic day, and do the thing that you do. Don't do the thing that you don't do. That would be bad. So I'm gonna go now.